This is without a doubt the worst game that I've ever seen since the Jets returned to Winnipeg, and that might sound like an exaggeration, but a team that doesn't get a shot on goal for 17 minutes in a hockey game. Okay, I don't know if there's been any game like that ever that the Jets have ever played. This was terrible. This game was awful. The Jets are down 3-0 at the end of the game. They do score two, like right at the very end of the game. And, people are going to clench onto that and say, oh, well, they almost came back. No, guys, this was bad. I don't give a shit what the score was today. This game, could have been 5-0. I don't even know what the shots were. I just remember looking up at the Jumbotron at one point and the shots were, I think it was 35-14. Unacceptable, especially against a team like Buffalo, who's not the greatest team defensively. This is absolutely unacceptable, and I hope it was a little bit of a wake-up call to management that, hey, we need some help here. It's not going to be, a depth player fix at the deadline. This needs to be a big splash deadline for the Jets, because this team, newsflash, guys, is not going to go very far in the playoffs without some help. I'm not even going to talk about the game today because I don't care. The Jets didn't show up. As far as I'm concerned, the Sabres were just playing a scrimmage. This game was bad. I think I've said that 6 or 7 times today, but nobody on the ice today had a good game. Logan Stanley, you can ship him off to the moon. That dude is so trash. And before you get mad at me and you say, oh, well, you never talk when Stanley plays good. Oh, why are you dogging on Stanley? Oh, you're just a handle bandwagoner. No, I don't want to hear it. Go watch the game over Winnipeg where I actually vouched for Stanley to be in the lineup tonight. What a disappointment that was. Worst player on the ice, bar none. I don't know what he's doing out there. Neil Pionk, you're trash. Dylan DeMello, you're fine, I guess. You and Morrissey were okay. But yeah, Nate Schmidt, I don't know what you do out there. You didn't do anything. You haven't done anything all season. You are, I don't know, man. This defense is so mid. I don't know what to call this defense. This defense doesn't do anything, guys. If your name isn't Josh Morrissey and Dylan DeMello, you are not playing very well, especially the last 10 games. And I don't know what the Jets are going to do because, the cap's obviously an issue. The Jets are probably going to have enough room for maybe 1 or 2 moves at the deadline. But unless they're adding like a Jacob Chychrun, I don't know what they're going to do with the defense. Unless they just straight up get rid of one of them, like a Pionk or a Schmidt, because Pionk is dragging this team. And everybody's going to say, oh, but hey, he scored 50 points 2 seasons ago. I don't want to hear it. Neil Pionk has played terrible this season. Go look at the advanced analytics if you're an analytics guy. If you're an eye test guy, just watch him play next game. Just key on him. He is hurting this team in so many ways. It's unbelievable. Okay, back to Stanley for a minute. Don't know why Stanley's in the lineup with how Sandberg's played with Schmidt. That Schmidt and Stanley pairing needs to never happen again. So I don't think we'll see Stanley in the next game. But I'm just so frustrated, guys. We're going to talk about forwards now. Mark Scheifele, I don't know what you're doing out there today. Pierre-Luc Dubois, you were trying, but you just couldn't get anything going. Kyle Connor, I don't know, poor effort tonight. Cole Perfetti looked like he wanted to do something, but he just wasn't going to do it. Nick Ehlers looked like probably the best Jet on the ice, like usual. Just couldn't get anything going, just like the rest of the team. Nobody could get anything going tonight. Blake Wheeler is just old and slow. Blake Wheeler needs to be put into the bottom 6 after the trade deadline. I'm really hoping the Jets trade for a top 6 forward because Blake is not going to cut it in the playoffs. That man is slow. And obviously, guys, I'm not dogging on Wheeler here. He's 36, 37 years old, however old now. He's just not as fast as he used to be, and it's hurting the top 6. So I think a third line role with Adam Lowry and maybe a Morgan Barron or somebody else on the wing there would work much better. So hopefully that happens at the deadline because this group stinks. That bottom 6 does absolutely nothing. Carson Kuhlman, invisible. Axel Johnson-Fialbi, I thought actually played a decent game tonight. However, Kevin Stenlund, I don't know what he brings to this team. He doesn't win any faceoffs. The whole team doesn't win any faceoffs, so I don't know why we have him. Faceoffs, by the way, guys, were not the reason that we played so poorly in this game. It was the lack of, defensive transition, getting the puck out of our zone clean and crisp. We could not do that. The Sabres look like the Harlem Globetrotters tonight. I saw that on Twitter, and I thought that was the perfect analogy. I can't get over how awful that game was. We got worked by the Buffalo Sabres. This Sabres team is like all children. That whole team is just like guys under 25 years old, and obviously they're super talented, right? And I'm not saying that all the young players are bad or anything. I'm all about young players like leading the team and everything. The NHL is young players, right? All the young stars are young. But oh my God, the Jets, coming into this game, if you looked at the betting odds, the Jets are the clear favorite to win this game. The Jets are a good team. They are very close to first in the West. I believe coming into this game, they're 2 points out of first in the Central. And what did the Jets do tonight? Absolutely nothing. They let the Sabres walk all over them, and it was embarrassing. In the building, I've never seen so many people leave with 10 minutes left in the game, and I didn't blame them. If I didn't want to go boo the Jets off the ice tonight, I would have left early too. And I'm not a guy that does that. Like, I'll just, whatever, I'll sit there, I'll say, this game stunk, and leave. But tonight, it was warranted. That was a poor effort, and that needs to be held accountable. There has to be some accountability for that loss, because that cannot happen again if you want teams to take you seriously and to take yourself seriously. So I hope this was a wake-up call to management that, hey, this team is not going to get by as is, and I don't think that's what they're thinking, by the way. I think that obviously they're going to make a move or two, but I think they realize that, hey, maybe we have a few more holes than we thought we did. Especially since the Christmas break. The Jets have not looked as good as they had in the first maybe 35 games. With a couple outliers, the Ottawa game, the Pittsburgh game come to mind, where the Jets played really good. But this road trip, guys, just was not good. Outside of the Ottawa game, where I think the Jets played great against a pretty lowly Senators team, the rest of those games just weren't good. They got embarrassed by the Montreal Canadiens, who were pretty much playing with half an AHL team. They got beat up on by the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then you go look at the Flyers game, you're up 3-0. You almost blew that game. They tied it at 3. And then you look totally disconjointed against Nashville. And then coming into this game, you're thinking, okay, well, this is where the Jets bounce back, right? No, this was the worst game I've seen the Jets play in 11 years. I can't get over it, guys. That was a rough game, and I don't really want to talk about it anymore, but I'm getting a little worried about this Jets team. I don't think it's time to hit the panic button or anything like that, but I do think there is going to have to be some conversations in the room and conversations upstairs in the general manager's office about what are we going to do with this Jets team going forward, and what do we need to improve on. The Jets have so many players with their contracts expiring after next season, with Mark Scheifele, Connor Hellebuck's another one, Blake Wheeler probably going to retire in the next 1 to 2 seasons, Pierre-Luc Dubois' situation, which is still pretty unclear, but I don't think that he's going to be a Jet after this season. With all that, factored into the decisions at the trade deadline, I think it is time that we go all in here and we really try to win it all. Let's go big ticket, guys. Let's go get a Bo Horvat. Let's go get a Timo Meier. Let's go try to get a Jacob Chychrun. Let's try to bring one of those guys in and then worry about secondary needs too. Let's build this team up as good as we can and go forward into this playoffs and try to win a Stanley Cup while we can. Because I don't think that the Jets are going to be competing for a Stanley Cup after this season, maybe next season, depending on what happens. But I think this year and next year are the years to go all in. So I'm really hoping that Kevin Cheveldayoff and the rest of the front office steps up, brings in some much needed reinforcement for this Jets team ahead of the March 3rd trade deadline. And we will go forward here and try to make a deep playoff run. But with all that said, guys, this video is an absolute mess, and I apologize for that. However, the game was an absolute mess, so I guess it kind of works. But with all that said, I am going to hop on out of here. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you and how you felt about this game. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm very close to 1,000 subscribers, guys. Definitely love all the support I've been getting as of late and, throughout the past year on YouTube. Been a lot of fun. Thanks so much. But I'll stop talking. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.